Israel continues its bombardment of Gaza, with recent attacks killing 7 people in Gaza City and 5 in the Nuseirat refugee camp. Israeli helicopter gunships, attack drones, and warplanes are striking Rafah as Palestinian fighters engage Israeli troops in street battles. Since October 7th, at least 37,232 people have been killed and 85,037 wounded in the conflict. In the occupied West Bank, 3 Palestinians were killed in Kabasia after Israeli forces stormed the town, besieged a house, and attacked it with shoulder-fired missiles. This violence comes as Israel has been added to a UN blacklist of countries that harm children. UN Chief Antonio Guterres stated that the scale of death and destruction in Gaza is unprecedented. The US has expressed dissatisfaction with Hamas's response to a ceasefire proposal. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller criticized the delays and amendments made by Hamas and condemned Israeli Finance Minister Smotrich's decision to withhold $35 million in tax revenues from the Palestinian Authority as inappropriate.
We were in contact on what day is it? Thursday. On Tuesday night with the Egyptian mediators, and the secretary spoke directly with the Qatari mediator, the prime minister, yesterday in his meeting in Doha. They, as I think you know, tend to be in fairly regular contact with the political wing of Hamas. But in terms of what the next step of negotiations will look like, I don't want to get into that from here, other than to say that we are committed to trying to push forward to get a ceasefire. We were disappointed with the response that came back from Hamas yesterday. As the secretary says, you've heard some other people say there were some suggested changes that were fairly minor and were fairly workable, and then there were some that we don't see as workable. But that said, we are committed to trying to push forward and get a ceasefire because we continue to believe it is in the interests of all involved parties.
Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has announced that he is transferring $35 million in tax revenue that Israel collected on behalf of the PA to Israeli victims of terrorism. Last week, you said these funds were Palestinian and should be released to the PA.
Yeah.
Do you have any reaction to Mr. Smotrich's action? Is it appropriate?
They are not appropriate. We have made quite clear to the government of Israel that these funds belong to the Palestinian people. They should be transferred to the Palestinian Authority immediately. They should not have been held. They should not be delayed. And in saying this, we make this case, first of all, because, as I said, the money belongs to the Palestinian people. It's important that the Palestinian people have the ability to access their funds, to fund their government, to pursue other activities as they deem fit. But also, the case that we have made to Israel is that this kind of decision is extraordinarily self-defeating. It doesn't just hurt the Palestinian people, it hurts Israel's interests as well. The Palestinian Authority has worked incredibly hard to maintain calm, to maintain stability in the West Bank over the years, especially since October 7th. And this kind of action by the Israeli government risks destabilizing the West Bank and further harming Israel's own security. And we think it's an extraordinarily wrong-headed decision by that minister.
President Joe Biden does not foresee a Gaza ceasefire deal in the near future, stating he has not lost hope, but does not expect a truce soon.
President Biden, did you all have a chance to discuss a possible ceasefire?
Yes.
Are you confident it's going to be done soon, sir?
No. I haven't lost hope, but it's going to be tough.
Meanwhile, Hezbollah launched a major drone and rocket attack on military bases in northern Israel. Israeli forces responded with a bombing in southern Lebanon, raising fears that border clashes could escalate into a broader conflict.